Mastery by Robert Greene is a deep exploration of what it means to become truly excellent at something. The book studies the lives of great masters in many fields and explains how ordinary people can follow similar paths. Greene's main message is clear and powerful. Mastery is not a mysterious gift given to a lucky few. It is a process. It is available to anyone who is willing to commit to long-term learning, deep focus, and continuous self-improvement. The book breaks down this journey into understandable stages, showing how people can discover their calling, go through years of practice and apprenticeship, develop creative power, and eventually reach true mastery. The book begins with the idea that everyone has something Greene calls a life's task. This is not just a career or job, it is something deeper. It is the unique direction your natural talents and deep interests point toward. Many people ignore this inner voice because of pressure from family, society, or fear of uncertainty. Greene argues that this is one of the biggest mistakes people make. When you choose a path based only on money, status, or what others expect, you often lose motivation. Over time, work feels empty. But when you align your work with something you naturally love and feel curious about, learning becomes easier. You are willing to work longer and harder because the activity itself gives you energy. Greene uses examples from history to show how this works. He describes figures like Leonardo da Vinci, whose curiosity about art, science, and anatomy drove him to study deeply and constantly. As a child, Leonardo showed intense curiosity about nature. He asked questions and observed everything. Instead of suppressing that curiosity, he followed it. This natural interest fueled his lifelong learning. Greene suggests that many masters show strong signs of their future direction in childhood. They display unusual curiosity, passion, or talent in a certain area. The problem is that modern life often pushes people away from these early signs. Greene encourages readers to reconnect with what excited them when they were young. Finding your life's task requires deep self-reflection. It means paying attention to what naturally attracts you. It also means experimenting. You might not know immediately what your path is. Greene explains that it is okay to explore different interests while you are young. Through experience, you start to see patterns. Certain activities pull you in more than others. Certain skills feel meaningful to develop. Over time, you narrow your focus. After finding direction, the next stage is apprenticeship. This is the longest and most demanding stage. Greene says that mastery requires years of focused learning. There is no shortcut. During apprenticeship, you learn the rules of your field. You study its history. You observe the masters who came before you. You practice basic skills repeatedly. At this stage, you must accept being a beginner. You will make mistakes. You will feel slow. You may feel invisible or underappreciated, but this stage is essential. Greene emphasizes humility during apprenticeship. Many people fail because they want attention too quickly. They want recognition before they have earned real skill. Masters, however, accept that they must first absorb knowledge. They find mentors. They work under people who know more than they do. They observe carefully. They ask questions. They take criticism seriously. Instead of defending their ego, they focus on learning. He gives the example of Benjamin Franklin, who, as a young writer, studied articles he admired and rewrote them from memory to improve his style. Franklin did not assume he was naturally gifted. He trained himself. He broke writing down into components and practiced each part. This deliberate practice strengthened his skills over time. The book explains that apprenticeship is not just about technical skills. It is also about learning how to deal with people. Every field has politics and social dynamics. You must understand human nature. Greene advises developing emotional control. When you are young and ambitious, it is easy to react emotionally to criticism or unfair treatment, but emotional reactions cloud judgment. Masters observe calmly. They learn to see situations clearly. They understand that short-term frustrations are part of long-term growth. Another important part of apprenticeship is learning how to think in a deeper way. Beginners see the surface of things, they memorize rules, but over time, through repeated exposure and practice, you start to see patterns. What once seemed complex becomes familiar. Your brain builds connections. Greene explains that this is how skill becomes intuitive. At first, playing an instrument, writing code, or practicing surgery feels mechanical, but after years of repetition, actions become automatic. This frees mental space for creativity. The book strongly emphasizes the importance of practice that stretches you. It is not enough to repeat what you already know. You must constantly push slightly beyond your comfort zone. This creates frustration, but also growth. Greene describes this as a process of mental rewiring. The brain changes through intense focus. When you concentrate deeply on improving specific weaknesses, you physically strengthen neural pathways. Over time, you think faster and clearer in your field. As apprenticeship continues, you begin to move into a more creative phase. Greene calls this the stage of creative active. After years of absorbing rules and traditions, you start to question them. You see gaps, you see new possibilities. Because you understand the foundations deeply, you can now innovate. Creativity is not random inspiration, it grows out of mastery of basics. Greene uses the example of Albert Einstein. Before developing his revolutionary theories, Einstein studied physics deeply. He absorbed the knowledge of his time. Only then was he able to see problems others missed. His creativity came from deep understanding, not from ignoring the rules. Greene argues that true innovation often comes from insiders who know the field so well that they can see where change is needed. In this stage, independence becomes important. During apprenticeship, you rely heavily on mentors, but now you begin to trust your own voice. You experiment. Some experiments fail. That is part of the process. Masters are not afraid of failure. They see it as feedback. They adjust and refine their ideas. The book also discusses social intelligence in this stage. Mastery is not only about technical skill, it is about navigating the world effectively. This includes reading people accurately, understanding motivations, and building strong networks. Many talented people fail because they ignore relationships. Masters learn how to collaborate, persuade, and lead without losing their integrity. Eventually, if you continue this path for many years, you reach what Greene calls mastery. At this level, skill and intuition merge. You can see the bigger picture. You can sense patterns before others notice them. Decisions that once required long thought now feel natural. You operate with fluidity and confidence. Greene describes mastery as returning to a kind of childlike perception, but at a higher level. As children, we are curious and open. As adults, we often become rigid. Masters combine experience with openness. They keep learning. They do not become complacent. Even after achieving success, they remain students. The book also addresses common obstacles. One major obstacle is impatience. Modern culture values speed. People want quick results. But mastery cannot be rushed. It requires years of focused effort. Another obstacle is fear of failure. Greene argues that failure is unavoidable. Instead of avoiding it, you must use it as a tool. Each mistake teaches you something specific. Another obstacle is complacency. After achieving some success, people may stop pushing themselves. Masters avoid this trap by continually setting new challenges. They stay curious. They explore new angles within their field. They refuse to let their skills become outdated. Greene also talks about the importance of resilience. The path to mastery includes rejection, boredom, financial struggle, and self-doubt. Many historical masters experienced long periods where their work was ignored. What separated them from others was persistence. They believed deeply in their path. Throughout the book, Greene weaves together stories of artists, scientists, entrepreneurs, and leaders. These stories serve to show that mastery follows similar patterns across different fields. Whether it's painting, mathematics, business, or music, the core principles remain the same. Discover your deep interest, commit to long apprenticeship, practice intensely, develop social intelligence, and gradually move toward creative independence. The tone of the book is serious but hopeful. Greene does not promise an easy journey. He makes it clear that mastery demands sacrifice. You may need to give up short-term pleasures. You may need to endure years of slow progress. But he argues that the rewards are profound. Mastery brings a deep sense of meaning. It allows you to contribute something unique to the world. It gives you confidence that comes from real competence. One of the deeper ideas in the book is that humans are wired for mastery. Greene suggests that we evolved to learn and adapt. When we stop challenging ourselves, we feel restless or dissatisfied. When we engage in deep learning and skill development, we feel alive. Mastery is not only about external success, it is about fulfilling our potential. In the final sections, Greene emphasizes that mastery is a lifelong process. There is no final endpoint where you stop learning. Even great masters continue to evolve. The world changes, fields change. You must remain flexible. This requires humility even at high levels of achievement.